Welcome, everyone, to the premiere of After Dark. Hey, Ted, how are you this evening?
Kara, I am great. I am looking forward with amazing anticipation to our big event, which is about 37 hours away from now.
It's coming up. I can feel the intensity rising, and I know it's going to be a fantastic event.
And we've got some great guests over the next couple days on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. What's the theme again for this one, Kara?
March Magic, all basketball.
And thank you so much for all you've put into the theme as well. So, it's hard to miss on social media. And we've also got a great guest with us here today. If I can keep my voice here for the next half hour or so. Tell us a little bit, Kara, about our sponsor and who's our exclusive sponsor for tonight's show.
Yes, our exclusive sponsor is, of course, BG Products. We are so grateful for them. Partners beyond products. Their tagline says it all, and we greatly appreciate them sponsoring us.
Yes, and on the Fixed Ops Roundtable March Magic that's coming up, I think it's on day number 2, Kara. We've got an interview with one of the guests. It's Bob Tasca from the Tasca Automotive Group, whom you had a chance to meet just a couple days ago as well. And Bob and I talked a little bit about his relationship with BG Products, not just at the dealership, but also the racing relationship, because he's got BG Products actually in his race car, and it's a big part of what they do. So if it's okay, I want to show just a short clip of that before we get started. Bob, you've got a partner there at Tasca in BG Products. Talk to us a little bit about that partnership, because I think that's really also a very important part of the success of both the brands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have vendors and you have partners, right? So BG is a partner to us, and the reason is we just don't buy product from them. They're in our stores. They're working with our advisors. We use their menu systems. They provide a tremendous warranty on all of the components that their liquids touch. So when you can have that type of a partner, it's truly a win-win for the customer, for BG, and for the dealership. So I highly recommend the product, and I would welcome anyone listening that wants to shoot me a note or has a question of how we leverage BG in our company to feel free to do that.
Wow. And Bob Tasca is not the only big name we have coming up on the show. And remind us again of the dates on the show, Kara.
Yes, it's coming up quick, March 9th, 10th, and 11th. You can see right here on the screen now some big names in automotive that we're going to have on this 3-day event. Of course, Fernando Arellano, Brian Benstock, you saw Bob Tasca, Ted himself, of course, Liza Borges, and even Greg Pinsky, which is going to be pretty exciting. I think he's on day 3.
That's right. And, I really like how you're going to be coming to us from the court on the floor. And you've got some great people over those 3 days to help you kind of get things started, starting with this fellow right here.
Oh, yeah. I only wish that everybody could have seen the behind-the-scenes footage that Joe St. John and I had, because it was pretty cool. And if you've ever seen him in a basketball jersey, you know what I mean.
Yes, someday that footage will become public. That's on day number 1. On day number 2, you've got this person right here helping you out as well.
Yes, this sweet lady, Samantha Foster, all-star poker player, but she's going to be calling the shots with me down on the court during Fixed Ops March Magic.
And she's on day 2, Samantha Foster from UVI. And on day 3, we've got Carrie Wise.
Yes, and I don't know if you guys know, but Carrie knows a lot about basketball. So you'll have to stay tuned, because she'll be on that last day with us, and she had some pretty cool stuff to say.
She played basketball as well. She was telling us the story. Mm-hmm. In fact, Kara, it's Carrie Wise who introduced me to our guest, our featured guest on tonight's show. And I want to go ahead and I want to introduce her right now to everybody. It's Ashley Cavazos from the Walzer Automotive Group. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ted. Hi, Kara.
How are you?
How are you tonight?
I am doing great. I am so excited that we are just hours away from the March Magic event.
And Ashley, you worked very hard, because you put together a panel that's going to be on day 1 on Wednesday. It's going to be in the morning, late morning, Eastern time. And It consists of leaders of the Walzer Automotive Group. And, talk to us a little bit about that. Who's on that panel? And of course, what are some of the things that you're going to be discussing? And what's the title of that panel?
Yeah, definitely. So our panel is not like the other guys, and we're talking about how Walzer differentiates itself from what we've known in the industry for so long. And it's really trying to help dealers start thinking more like leaders, right? Like we've said how this is how we've always done things, but we really should be looking outside of the space and what other great leaderships are doing. We have a lot of wonderful progressive leaders across automotive, and I'm excited to highlight who we have at Walzer. A few of those names are Sherry Schultz, our Chief of Human Resources, and Greg Davis. He is a VP General Manager at Walzer Toyota in Bloomington. Angie Kruger. She is our Director of Learning and Development. Dana Landgrebe, who was just recently promoted to actually Director of Diversity Engagement and Outreach and Foundation. And then Jennifer Parsons, who is our Director of Finance.
Wow, that is some panel. And Ashley, you're going to be leading the panel as the moderator. Is that right?
Yeah, I am super honored to lead this panel of great people in our organization, and just honored that you had us, Ted. When you reached out and you wanted to talk to us about what we're doing at Walzer, what you've seen, was just really honored to kind of be able to bring that to the audience that we're going to have this week.
Well, Ashley, I thought that the panel was so well organized by you and the way you put it all together that it's on day one. It's on Wednesday. It's going to be just before lunchtime, Eastern time. It's the first panel of the entire event. And there are, Kara, I think there's 12 panels on this event. So this is the leadoff panel, and it's remarkable. And, some of the things that you're discussing on there that Walzer is doing right now within your dealerships in terms, not just the culture, but really you're a lot more than that. You're years ahead of everybody else in the automotive industry.
Yeah, I mean, we're really fortunate. Jack Walzer, who was Andrew and Paul Walzer's father, started Walzer Automotive Group in 1954. And since then, we've grown. We have 25 dealerships in Minnesota, Kansas, Illinois. We are one point of contact. So we don't have a BDC handling our sales leads. We don't have finance managers. Our sales people are doing it all, and our sales managers are helping them, guide them through that journey and making sure that they support them as much as possible.
That's an incredible way to do business that I don't see too much in the automotive industry.
No, and it's been really, I mean, Walzer is come to kind of find, like, if we can't find our solution, we're going to figure it out ourselves, right? And that was part of how we came to one point of contact. We're one price across the board, like one rate, with financing, trade. Like we don't negotiate on any of that part of the process, which is great for customers, right? Because if you come in, you're going to get the same experience that your friend did, or whoever sent you a referral that brought you into the dealership, or the next person that's in the showroom with you.
Wow.
There are a couple big dealer groups that are one price and one person. But when I heard about the one rate, that's really a huge differentiator, Ashley. The fact that you folks went ahead and worked with the lenders and the banks. And tell us a little bit about that, because that's very, very unique.
I think Jen Parsons can probably do a better job at that than I can, but I know she's worked very hard to set up, a fair rate for our customers and make sure that everybody is getting treated equally. And,
I really think that that's the future of the retail automotive business, because with all these disruptors that are out there, that are converging, the Carvanas, even the Amazons, of course, who are, driving that disruption, you're really taking retail to the next level. And I see everybody following you, but they might be years behind.
Yes. And we had to create our own software, right? If you haven't heard of it, we created Fuse, and Colton Ray, who is the CEO of that part of our company, is just, he'll be at he'll be using him out if you want to look into Fuse, but it's a great software that we had to create to help us achieve this part of the process for us.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about you. How did you come to get into the car business, Ashley? Tell us about that.
like most people, probably was not what I intended to do. I actually grew up, so I'm from South Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, actually. So yes, Kara. And my family, my grandfather was one of the first Spanish radio stations in the state and in the country. Had a Tejano music radio station that became Lopez Broadcasting. We have quite a few stations under our belt now, and quite a few family members that have all been a part of growing it as well. Even myself, it's been great to grow up in that. And I loved being around people and getting to know the community and everything like that. And when I was in college, I had an opportunity to, I was looking for just a side job, right? Like something part-time that I can work at, and was set up to interview as a receptionist at an automotive group. And in my mind, broadcasting was my future, right? Like that's where I was headed. I was going to help the family run a few radio stations, do something like that. It still is something I passionate about, but I absolutely fell in love with automotive. Got hired by a dealership in Corpus Christi called Access Ford, helped them with internet marketing and internet sales. And then got recruited to Minnesota by another automotive group, and have been here for a little over 9 years now. And I've been with Walser for about 2.5 years. And I love it. I just have a passion for the customer journey. I want to help break down those walls that customers have with the dealership experience, right? It is not terrible. We are great people. There are amazing humans at all of our dealerships that are just trying to help provide a great customer experience. And if I can help with that part of, the customer seeing that this is who we are, we're not like this idea that you may have had in the past or some of those commercials you see out there, then I want to do that and help educate the staff in the stores to deliver that experience.
Wow.
When did you realize that Walser was different? That was not like, to quote your panel, not like the other guys. When did you know that before you came there, or?
Actually, yeah. I had a phone call from Andrew Walser, and we went and we had lunch and we started talking. And as we're talking through this conversation, I'm like, he's different. There's something about Andrew here. I want more. I want to talk to him more. And then the next opportunity I had with the team, I met a number of leaders, Sherry being one of them. And we're talking through, and it wasn't like your typical interview process is very meet and greet, but it was like, tell us about you, your values, what matters to you, because we want to make sure that when you come to work, you're bringing your whole self to work. And as a Latina in automotive, and a woman in automotive, you sometimes don't hear that. You feel like you have to put up a guard, or you can't be completely yourself. And the fact that I can feel comfortable and knowing that they wanted me to bring all of that was pretty incredible. It was a great feeling.
Wow.
And I mentioned that Kerry Wise introduced us about 1.5 years ago or so, Ashley. And you're not just involved with Walser, but you are very much involved with WOCAN, the Women of Color Automotive Network. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was recently brought on to their advisory council for member engagement. When I living in the Twin Cities, we were here at the center of everything that happened with, the death and killing of George Floyd, and being a part of seeing your community torn apart like that, and the experiences I've had as, being a Hispanic, a Latina, Mexican American, I have just wanted to find something that can, just a group of women that can help support me. And Kara, you've been a woman in automotive, it's been a lonely road, and to find WOCAN and to have Carrie and Erica and Amanda and Patrice build this organization was inspiring to me. And I found a sisterhood, if you would, in that. And from day one, when I saw the creation of it, I'm like, I want to be a part of this. And luckily and fortunately, they also wanted to bring me on to help with their member engagement. So I'm super, super grateful for them and what, this opportunity they brought to me and for all of us, and for Walser. It's a great partnership for us to have WOCAN partner with us. We just did a panel last week. Dana Landgrebe and I co-moderated a panel called I Don't See Color. And we had Carrie and Erica and Sandy on that panel with us.
Wow.
They're definitely taking over the industry by storm. I'm starting to see these ladies just about everywhere you can imagine. And I can tell that, they're very passionate about it, as they should be. And they're truly making a huge impact in our industry.
Yes,
You're lucky to be a part of that.
Yeah, I feel really lucky to be a part of it. I'm excited to see them. I have not met the whole panel and the whole founder group in person. And so we're going to be at NADA later this week. And so I'm super excited. We're all going to be there at the same place and to see them in person. I'm sure it's going to be very exciting for all of us because we haven't seen a lot of each other in person.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. We've been doing it this way, right?
Yeah.
Doing the remote stuff. And now I saw an announcement that you recently had a promotion at Walzer. Tell us about your job and your role and what you do there.
Yeah, so my job at Walzer is primarily digital performance, right? We're 90% of our customers, 100% of our customers we know are shopping online. But when you look at the traffic that's coming in, about 80% of that is digital. And because I've been very, just this passion of learning the digital part of it, the BDC life that I've had, I've been able to help Walzer kind of work with our teams and help them educate them on digital process, strategize with our leaders on that, and what we want to do with our customer journey. What does that look like? What's the best practice moving forward? And so I was recently promoted to director of digital performance, and I am overseeing, the CRM part of our company. So we have DriveCentric, working with that team on making sure that everybody is onboarded and launched and feeling comfortable about the tool, working with our L&D, our learning and development team, and making sure that we're helping our new hires. We do spend about 2 weeks for new hires in training. And so working with Angie and her team to make sure that our new hires feel comfortable and they understand where the customer is starting when they submit a lead, as well as working with marketing. What are the leads that we're driving into our dealerships? What does that look like? And how do we best respond to them to engage with that customer?
So you're still tapping into your original role, that you had years ago in automotive, and you're still carrying it along with you today.
Yeah, I mean, marketing has been a part of me from like the beginning, right? Like that's been when you grow up in the radio business, all you know is marketing and how to network with people and all of that comes with it. And so I've been able to apply all of that into what I do in automotive.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have to ask you, you moved over here. I'm sure went through a lot of crazy stuff in your role at Walzer. And maybe if you have a story, what's something that has really stuck out to you that's been like a crazy event or something that you least expected since you've been working there?
Oh gosh. So I actually relocated for a short period of time during 2020 to Kansas. We have 7 dealerships, a luxury campus in Wichita, Kansas. And in the middle of COVID, while everybody's kind of staying put, I am packing up my car and going down there to help them because we were in this, we accelerated digitally in that period of time and they needed support. And so I was asked to go and support them. And I lived in Wichita for 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And I would drive back and forth because at that time we weren't even sure about flying and planes weren't even really flying, right? Like right when the pandemic happened. And so I drove the 9-10 hours to Wichita and I would do it every other week. And I'd come home, see my husband, my dogs, and I'd go back to Wichita for another 2 weeks. And just helped as much as I could support them digitally. They hadn't really had that support previously. So it was really kind of starting from the bottom up, how do we make the best of our CRM? How do we answer these leads best? What's the appointment setting process? What does that look like when the customer walks in? Helping transfer into video as well, right? Like we knew video was the next wave of what we needed to do to differentiate ourselves. And so helping them get accustomed to video was a huge part of that for me.
Well, I mean, traveling 9 hours really shows how dedicated you are to making a difference for sure. And you mentioned between those travels that you would come home to a family. Tell us about your family.
Yeah. So my husband moved with me as we were boyfriend and girlfriend 9 years ago. He actually moved to Minnesota with me. Everybody asks, did you meet him here? I'm like, nope. Like, we were together in Texas. And he knew when we started dating. I said, I don't want to live in Corpus my whole life. I feel like there's something more out there for me. So it was really funny. Before we even went on our first date, I kind of shared that with him. And I'm like, I don't think we should go on a first date if you can't see yourself leaving your hometown. And he was like, no, I think I could do that. And so we did. And, years later, the opportunity came and we did it. 2 days after Christmas, we packed up both of our cars. He had a Scion XA. I had a Ford Focus. Don't know what we were thinking moving to Minnesota with those cars, but we packed them full with everything we could and our 2 dogs. And we had an apartment set up for us. We had never visited Minnesota. We did everything virtually. And we did that in 2012. And I had my first day of work on January 2nd, 2013. And he's been here with me through it all.
Oh, he sounds like a wonderful man.
Yeah, very supportive.
You just set the bar. You were like, this is what I want. And if you can't accept it, then you're out.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I had gone through my relationships, right? I was like, okay, I'm not going to play games here. Like, this is who I am. Like, take it or leave it. And he was like, okay, cool. Well, I'll roll with it. We'll see what happens.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. We've got some pictures here to share, if that's okay, Ashley.
Yeah.
So kind of take us through everybody here. I think this first one, we're going to recognize who this is.
Yeah, this is me in about 8th grade. It's super young Ashley. So yeah, that's a young version of me, a little like flashback Friday, if you would. Or, yeah, that's a picture I look back on and I'm like, gosh, if that girl knew where she was going today to where she was then. I was a shy kid. People wouldn't believe that, but I was very introverted. And yeah, so.
Wow. And who is this here?
So in the middle between me and my husband is actually my grandmother. That was her 80th birthday 2 years ago. That was actually the last time we went home to see our family. Through the pandemic, we have not been able to go back. It just hadn't lined up for us, and we were trying to be safe with everybody. So we went and we surprised her for her 80th birthday, and it was a great, great trip.
Wow. I didn't like that.
So I talked a little bit about growing up in the radio business. This is actually a photo of my family. And on the top left, you have my grandfather, my grandmother, and the rest are me. I'm in the middle, and the bottom with that red pinkish outfit.
Oh.
That's me. And this was right after we had filmed a commercial for one of our radio stations. And so we went to a park and had a family picnic afterwards. But that's all my cousins and my uncles. And it was a really great day.
Wow. Very nice. And
so this is probably about 10 years ago, but this is my dad and my stepmom. My brother and I are at the top, and my 2 sisters and my brother in the bottom. I'm the oldest of 5 kids.
Wow.
Quite a huge age gap, if you would. My brother just turned 30. And my sister on my dad's lap she just turned 20. And the 2 little ones, those are twins, and they're actually seniors. They're graduating this year from high school. So, yeah, quite a large age group, but love being a part of a big family.
Wow. And who's this?
That's us. Fast forward a few years. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Beautiful family.
Yeah. It's great growing up. It was a 7-year age gap between me and my brother, and I was always like, I'm going to be an only kid forever, I guess. And then now I look back and I'm like, gosh, I have so many siblings, but I love it, and a lot of cousins as well.
Wow, great stuff. So what's next for you, Ashley? What's on the horizon?
So Walzer is going to be at NADA. Paul Walzer will be, handing over the torch from being NADA chairman, and we're excited to support him. We've got a lot of great things going on between Women of Walzer and the automotive and the group as well, and getting ready for Fuse. We've been working with the Fuse team on updating the software, and so we're excited to get that out. And for me, it's just wherever I can help support the teams and all of this, I'm here for it.
Love it. And we're looking forward to your panel on Wednesday at
Yes.
the Fixed Ops Roundtable, not like the other guys.
Yes.
Ashley is leading the Walzer Automotive Group, and you got everybody together. That was great how you brought all the leaders in. So, super job with that.
Yeah, just a handful of them. I wish I could have got them all, so trying to narrow it down was tough, but really great group. I'm so glad, they have busy schedules, and I was glad they were able to make time for it, and I'm excited for everybody to see our panel.
And I thought that Greg also had some great input about some of the things that he's done, which really, I mean, I was really glued into to everybody, but he had some special things that he has done at the Toyota dealership as well.
Yeah, Greg has been in automotive for over 30 years. And with that, he's done a lot of growth. And recently he's really seen what some little things do that make a large impact. For example, he gave up his office for a prayer room for his team. He's got, some team members who are of the Muslim religion, and just in general, it's just a prayer room. He noticed that they were kind of finding corners here and there across the dealership. And he was like, nope, like, you take my office, we're going to set that up for you to have that space. And that was just incredible.
So you don't want to miss it, everybody. That's coming up on Wednesday at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And Kara, is it still possible to get tickets for the March Magic event?
Of course it is, at fixedopsroundtable.com. Grab your tickets now, guys. They're complimentary, and we'll see you in just a few days.
Yeah, love it. So really looking forward to that. And Ashley, thank you so much for all that you do for the industry as well.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Kara. It was so awesome to be here.
It was wonderful to meet you virtually, and hopefully I get to see you here soon in person. But we loved having you on our show today, and hopefully you like the 3-day event, because I think you're going to be one of the stars of the show.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Thank y'all.
Of course. Well, on behalf of Ted Ings and Ashley, I'm Kara Delane. We'll see you next Monday at 8 p.m. Thanks for joining us.